about the automotive security. Welcome, Rahul.
Thanks a lot, Nishant. That was a wonderful introduction, and thanks for making everyone aware about what CSNP does and what is our goal. So let me begin then. So good morning, good evening, and good afternoon based on your respective time zones. So as Nishant was speaking about the importance of security, so current day market and current day what we are doing on a day-to-day basis is completely digitized around us, right? We are seeing many gadgets, many different technologies which are making our lives easy, and we are able to get anything that we want at the click of the buttons sitting at home. And at the same time, when we look into the automotives, we're able to see that the automotive sector is bringing in many different uh, technological advancements, and which are based upon the electronics, the different kinds of systems, right? So that is how we are being dealing with on a day-to-day basis. So today, Nishan, next slide, please. So today, the discussion point, or rather I would call the agenda that we would talk about, is how these different automotives, technologies, the protocols, the various systems are being used by hackers and cyber attackers, and how terrorists are planning to use these automotives as their targets, and how we can understand what are the various interfaces of cars which can be hacked, and how we can safeguard those different measures. From if you are from automotive sector, you may want to propagate these different ideas to the manufacturing units. And if you are a user of automotives, what is that you can do in order to prevent these kind of dangers which are there in cyber security domain, right? And then we will talk about what are the various new age techniques, how the hackers are actually executing this. We will show a video which can help you understand the nitty-gritty and practical aspect of hacking, and also the preventive measures. All right, so thanks so much for being in time in attending this interesting session today. So Nishant, next slide, please. So now today, cyber security is not something which is new, right? Like, we have been seeing how the hackers are gaining entry into our IT systems, and how they are causing havoc in introducing the various malicious code and ransomware attacks, WannaCry kind of attacks. And regularly, on every year on year, we are seeing that there is a continuous increase in these kind of attacks. And here I can quote these CISO.in and the Cybercrime magazine, where they have shown the report that in 2020 there was a 37% increase, and by 2021 the damage that can be caused would be around $6 trillion. Now imagine the kind of the financial loss or the damage that these cyber crimes are causing, and which is definitely a good amount of a one or maybe some 3-4 countries GDP, right? So that is the kind of the damage which brings us or draws our attention towards how cyber crimes can be damaging. And of course, day in day out, we are hearing a lot of data leakages, privacy issues. And having said that, the same kind of cyber criminals are now targeting automotives and trying to see how they can cause a wider damage, which is impacting on a day-to-day basis to each and every individual. See, if you talk about cyber crimes, we all are connected, we all are using internet day in day out. Now slowly we are also talking about connected cars, autonomous cars, driverless cars, right? So definitely that is an area which can really cause a very good damage or a larger damage, which we are supposed to understand and try to take preventive measures. Next slide, please. So when we talk about these different kinds of automotives, what is the intention? Like, what exactly is the purpose? The purpose is simple. There are thieves around everywhere. We are earlier, they used to steal they used to do the pickpocketing. They used to gain entry forcefully into our homes. But now with the digitized world, even they have learned these digital techniques, how to hack into our system, how to snatch away our e-wallets, how to break into e-wallets, how to transfer the funds from our bank accounts, right? So similarly, when it comes to automotives, they are able to break into our cars, because now car is something where we have a lot of electronics and connectivity, right? With your keyless entry, you are able to operate the car, you are able to open the door, right? And if somebody is able to capture the frequency of your signal by remaining very near to the car, and they are able to easily capture that signal, and they are able to gain entry into your car. So that way they are able to steal either your car or any of the crucial contents or costly contents like your laptop and anything that you have put in your car in your dashboard, right? And another aspect of this is the terrorism. See, the problem here and how easily the terrorism is able to misuse this particular new technology is because if you look into the OT systems, we still do not have any kind of logging mechanism. But whereas in IT, we have the logs captured at OS level, at your firewall network perimeter level, at different servers. So at each and every place, we are able to capture the logs, and that will help you understand and analyze if there are any kind of penetrations that have happened and any kind of data exfiltration that might have happened or any breach that has been detected. But if you look into the new age systems, we are still not there. And the reason here is, if you take these small components, the small electronics that we have in car, like the ECU, which is a control unit, and then the keyless entry, the key that you are using, these operate with a very small amount of memory and a little bit processing capability. So given this limited amount of processing power of your automotive, it is really not possible to incorporate the logging mechanism so that you can understand whether you have operated the car or you have used the car or somebody else did. The only way possible is having the GPS connectivity in the car and tracking if at all the car has been stolen and it has gone somewhere, right? But because of this reason, because we do not have this kind of tracking mechanism or logging mechanism, it becomes very easy for the terrorists to steal your car and do the mass killings by running the car into the larger crowd, right? Which has really happened. In Britain it has happened, in Indonesia it has happened. We have already seen some 3 or 4 instances by now. So because of this reason, even if the terrorist is able to snatch away your car, there is no way to repudiate that. Obviously, the law enforcement agency will come to your door because your car was that, your license plate was that, and the car has been tracked over multiple CCTV cameras, right? So first and the foremost, finger pointing will be at you, and then after some long lengthy legal process, you may be exonerated at a later date, but still there is a problem, right? You cannot escape from that. And there are another set of hackers who are really keenly interested in challenging each other just for fun's sake, stealing your car and trying to make fun, right? And they will go around the city. So these are different kinds of people who are targeting your cars, and they are trying to do a lot of misuse or whatever, fun activities or whatever. So these are some of the problems what we have in automotives as on date. Now, when coming back to how exactly it can be done, what are the various sources for that, how they are able to sneak in, let us focus on that. Next slide, please. So here, when we talk about the typical automotive systems, as I was saying, there is a little bit of electronics everywhere. Like if you want to accelerate your car, if you want to play your music system, if you want to apply the brakes, and now you are also seeing the artificial intelligence is being incorporated into your automotives. So those also create additional interfaces which are capturing the live feed from the outside world, outside environment, and feeding this data into the processing unit, which is operating your car systems. Particularly in driverless car, that is very important, right? So when we are talking about all these different systems, the music system, your braking system, acceleration system, all of these are connected to a central unit which is called as ECU, and this ECU will be communicating with these different systems at the same time. Now, what is that communication? Again, obviously there are different kinds of protocols. Particularly, majorly we use OBD2 protocol and the port, where we have the CAN bus protocol, Modbus protocol. So those different protocols exchange these parameters between the ECU and your other systems. Now, if there is any kind of vulnerability in this protocol or the ports of these different ancillary systems, they give easy access to a hacker to get into the system either through remotely or through any of the physical wires getting connected in the time being, right? Or through the GPS system. So now if you look into the various entry points, the car has an entry point from the perspective of the GPS, the Bluetooth, the infrared, the keyless entry, right? And your dashboard cams, and also these AI systems when they are integrated, the cameras. So there are so many interfaces which are out there. If anyone can be hacked, that is enough for gaining the complete control of your car. Similarly, as we have the ports and the protocols, we also have the hardware, which is their ELM327 based devices, which are supporting the functions of the automotives. And then we have the CAN interfaces, and we have the USB interfaces. So all these are the various interfaces which are there on the connected cars, on your car systems, which need to be protected, which need to be safeguarded. Now, in the past, you would have seen many sci-fi movies, right? Where you are in some shots, they show like how a hacker does something on the Wi-Fi. He is able to unlock the car, right? So unfortunately, all those sci-fi movies what we have seen in the past are becoming the reality now. because of the growing technology and the growing awareness in these kind of new age hackers with respect to the techniques of hacking and the programming and all these kind of things, right? So these are some of the challenges which are being posed, and we need to ensure and learn how to safeguard ourselves from these kind of new threats. Next slide, please.
To all the participants, thanks Rahul. To all the
Yeah, Nish.
participants, we will have a dedicated Q&A questions. If you have any questions, please to write it down. We will address it at the end of this session. I also see certain people raising their hands. Everybody will have an opportunity to ask. And go ahead, Rahul.
Yeah, thanks, Nishan. Yeah, so these are the various methods that I was talking about. If at all a hacker is very nearby to your car, he can easily sniff or capture using the Wi-Fi or the wireless systems what frequency your key and the car is operating on, and that can be easily captured, and he will be able to use that same processing technique, same frequency, in order to gain entry into your car without you even knowing about it, right? That is one purpose, one way of attacking. Another way is inducing the errors in the system. Now, as I was saying, as I was giving the example about terrorism, in addition to just getting into your car and causing a lot of damage, if at all there is any kind of a personal enmity or any kind of a criminal intent with which the person operates, then what exactly he can do? He can gain entry into your car while you are driving. He can be following you without you being aware about it. Already he has gained access to your ECU and other interfaces that we spoke about. Using any of these interfaces, he can suddenly disable your brake system, or he can suddenly increase your acceleration. Now, you know the electronics now, right? Your car has the systems to show you how much petrol is still remaining, how much fuel is remaining in your car, and how many kilometers you can drive to empty. And it can also show you at what speed you are traveling. So all these electronics are nothing but the interfaces. And by manipulating these electronics, the protocols and the interfaces, any kind of such attack can be triggered by either disabling or accelerating the car. And because of the lack of any kind of logging mechanism, there will be no opportunity for you to prove that it was an accident which is caused by somebody else, right? So that is a larger danger which exists, and which can cause such a damage that there is no way you can prove that it has been, your car systems have been manipulated and somebody else has operated onto your car systems, right? So that is a problem. And another thing is, by disabling the GPS, by like right now there are systems that on the mobile, using an app, you can track, once you enable GPS, you can track where your car is going, where it is traveling. In case of any stealing, you can any kind of theft, you can detect that where that car has gone based on the GPS location, right? And at the same time, in case of emergency, you can use your location in order to request for any kind of support. So if that GPS is disabled, and if any hacker has stolen your car and disabled GPS, you will never come to know that the theft has occurred, and that is also a problem. So these are the various ways in which the attackers can gain entry. And now let us see how we can be safe, and how we can try to mitigate these kind of threats, and try to implement the safeguard mechanisms. So with respect to manufacturers, what exactly they can try to
put in place the systems to safeguard them. One thing can be that increase a little bit of a processing capability in the ECU and the subsystems. Try to implement the encryption of the communication between these different subsystems so that any man in the middle attack cannot be initiated. Okay, and the other solution is security in design. Now when you say security in design, what way the manufacturers can safeguard is there is something called fuzz testing, right? By doing the fuzz testing on the protocols which are used in your car systems, you can identify and detect the weaknesses of your poor protocols, your subsystems, and try to detect those kind of vulnerabilities, patch those particular protocols, and try to ensure that the protocols that you are using are safe. And another thing is, while doing the manufacturing process, when you are executing the implementation of these car systems within the car dashboard, ensure that the physical location of these systems are not easily reachable to any of the hackers if at all somebody tries to execute a physical attack on these systems. And another option is to secure these different interfaces and try to see that there is some kind of a CRC check and a checks and balance between these subsystems to detect any kind of malicious code which has been crept in, right? And whatever interfaces are provided which are used for different kinds of subsystems, try to protect those interfaces at the design phase itself so that those interfaces cannot be operated upon without any kind of authentication. And those authentications nowadays, since the technology is improved, we can incorporate the voice based or biometric controls which can at least provide some level of protection to the car before it can operate, before it can turn on, right? So similarly, as buyers, what exactly we can do is we can install the immobilizer devices, ensure that any kind of the GPS system that you are installing into your car, that is not easily reachable or easily removable physically, so that the hacker cannot remove it. And then enable the dash cams and with auto activation feature, so that if at all any kind of movement happens in the car, the dash cam can get switched on automatically and can capture any visuals or videos around it, so that it can capture the person who is stealing your car. And obviously the keyless entry is very easy and convenient nowadays, so try to safeguard the keys of your car so that nobody can easily capture the frequency of your key and try to build an electronic system to manipulate it. Okay, so these are some of the preventive measures which manufacturers as well as buyers need to keep in mind, so that we can improvise upon the security of the car systems in the current age, while we are always dreaded about the cyber security attacks. Next slide, please. Okay, so now coming back to the conclusion, yes, there have been multiple ways in which the cars can be stolen, and obviously terrorists are already using these techniques, and driverless car hacking would become even the more easy, and obviously that can cause legal trouble to you. And obviously cars are becoming increasing targets, and obviously it causes it's a bigger danger as a weapon of mass destruction, which need to be definitely prevented without any doubt. Okay, so that's all from my end, guys, and Nishant, you would want to take up the demo first and then the Q&A?
Rahul, I would prefer the Q&A. If
Okay,
somebody
great.
has any question, please raise your hand. We would be able to.
Yeah, sure. So just an update for you guys. So once we are done with the Q&A, please stay tuned because we have we will show you the video about the car hacking and also the preventive measures, which is of course from the YouTube. But for your awareness, we wanted to show that. So let me take up the various questions. Okay, and first question is Terence want to have a recording of this session. So probably that question, Nishant, you can address. And
Rahul, William is raising up his hands. I would hand over the mic to him.
okay,
We'll
sure,
try to answer him. Yes.
sure. Yeah, Proful has a great input. Okay, I will talk to you, Proful. Yeah.
William can.
Yeah, hi, William. Go ahead.
Hi, sorry, I put this in the chat, but I will just ask it now too. I was curious about what issues you see in these technologies right now. Like what are some of the gaps and pain points, and if you see any innovations or trends coming up to help with those. Thank you.
Yeah. So current issues, what I have seen is some of the protocols that are being used, those protocols are easily hackable. And I have identified that the OBD2 protocol is not very secured. And if you are able to get into the car with a keyless entry, that is another issue I have observed. We were able to hack some of the very well-known cars which are very costly, which seems to be, I mean, they advertise them to be the safest car, but I cannot name them. But yes, we were able to hack the cars and we were able to prove to the manufacturer that, hey, this is the safest car you claimed. And look, I was able to hack your OBD2 protocol and already I am inside your ECU. And that practically we have shown. And when coming to the other issues, we were able to gain entry into their music system, and we were able to suddenly increase their volume without having any control of the driver over the volume control. So obviously that causes a distraction to the driver, right? It causes a distraction whereby it increases the chances of accident to a large extent. And with regard to the innovations, still we are yet to see the innovations because the technology improvements are mostly cost effective only when they are applied to a larger scale. I mean, if we are manufacturing these security systems, only the economies of scale will work if we deploy it across all the cars. But right now, as you all guys know, when the technology is new, the cost will be very high. And obviously that becomes affordable only to the high-end cars. And only when the mass demand picks up or the mass production happens, then those systems can be distributed, can be implemented into all the other low-end cars, medium-end cars, where the technology becomes affordable. Okay, so I hope that answers William.
Rahul, I also have Scott who wants to ask a question.
Yeah, sure.
Unmute. Hello, thank you.
Hi, Scott.
It's a very interesting analogy you had between an automotive vehicle and a secure application earlier. Typically, we do think of a car as a computer, but as we look more closely at the analogy, we begin to see different kinds of vulnerabilities emerge. As you alluded to, cars don't have unique authentication mechanisms that would say meet some kind of compliance standards. The authentication layer consists of kind of the ignition system that can be started using a key, which can be done by many users. So
Exactly.
logging
Yeah.
by user is kind of futile. Based on what you've seen, how far off are we from some kind of unique user authentication system that will merge
Right.
with existing systems, possibly a central unlocking system like you mentioned earlier?
Right.
Or do you see it trending elsewhere?
Yeah, definitely. Yes, there is a good amount of trend which we are seeing. But as I said, right now we are seeing these kind of things are happening in different countries. We have identified such instances in US and UK, and right now the car manufacturers are worried about these, so they have approached us for mitigating those problems. Okay.
Very interesting. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks, Scott.
Thanks,
Yeah,
Scott.
and I have one more question. Yeah, before I lose, because some questions are popping up, Nishant, I would like to address one more question here from the chat window. Praful says visual cryptography can also be used. Yes, that's a very good, excellent suggestion, Praful. So we can track visually, and we can identify now that we know a AI system can track the faces and can match the faces, we can definitely use visual cryptography. But as I said, we need to improvise upon the capability and the systems processing capability, which can really help us do that. And somebody asks, are there any mitigation strategies that I want to recommend to professionals trying to protect car dealerships? See, from the car dealership perspective, the solutions would remain the same, the mitigation would remain the same, just that they need to share the technology with the OEMs and try to see offer those security solutions as add-on tools by buying those security solutions from OEMs, or try to build some of their unique solutions, which is obviously innovative way of every kind of a problem we encounter, and that should always be there. Yeah. And Chaitan, yeah, go ahead, Nishant. I will address Chaitanya's point. Yes, he has valid points.
Yes.
Go ahead. Yeah.
I see some good conversations happening here, Rahul, and a lot of minds coming in and trying to
Right.
expound this whole subject of car hacking.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very interesting and very fascinating about it. And also, I see some questions about career opportunities available in this field. I believe IoT security, artificial intelligence would be some of the key areas.
Right.
Is what I'm thinking, Rahul. And I also have a question from one of the attendees. He's asking, do you recommend storing car keys in a Faraday bag as a preventive measure? Faraday bags blocks RF signals from both being sent and received to any electronic device. So basically the question is about
Correct.
storing the car keys which would block RFID signals.
Yeah, but when you see the case, what I have shown here is like you are in your home, you have kept your car car key in your home, but sometimes people are habitual to use this keyless entry from a longer distance. Now, when you are using, you cannot put it in a Faraday bag as a preventive measure, right? You have to have it in your hand. And now when you are far away from your car, maybe at a distance of 50 meters or so, you can never realize who is able to capture those signals and who is able to capture that frequency. Today, I can capture that frequency, and after a few days, I can use it, right? So in this case, the Faraday bag can protect your key only for that time being. But when you are really using the car key, it is always recommended that you are close by to your car and only then you try to operate, because at least at that point of time, you can visually you can see if at all there is any hacker with a gadget somewhere around your car, nearby your car, who is trying to capture your frequency. So that kind of a solution, only a manual or physical solution is possible in case of keyless entry. And one anonymous attendee says, if your car has a GPS navigation, can that help with tracking and logging for your keyless car entry? Yes, that would help, and that would also help the attacker as well. So that is the solution there. And he also says he has a simple car, no GPS, so no need to worry. So GPS can help you track. It is not that it is helping somebody steal your car, right? So having GPS is good, but at the same time, you need to worry about other electronic systems which are the cause for the concern, not alone the GPS. Okay.
Exactly.
And there was one more question. Did I lose that? I had. Yeah.
Rahul,
Okay.
I have a question from DH. He's asking about
Yeah.
what auto manufacturers are ahead in this game, and what can a potential buyer do when purchasing a smart car or a hybrid car.
Right. Yes. So here, like currently, as one more attendee also said, Mercedes-Benz has launched the MBUX system, okay, which includes this fingerprint authentication. But here, the as he rightly pointed out, like it helps to only load a profile with the specific user preferences. But here, that would not suffice in operating the car. So currently, if we see the top companies like Nissan is yet to reach there, but Mercedes is the one which has already started putting a lot of research there. And also we have BMW, that is, and also this Volkswagen. Okay, so both are one and the same, but they are currently still doing the research on that. Okay, and currently these two players are the ones who are looking into the car security aspect very seriously, and already the research is going on in that direction. Okay, and I have one question. What auto manufacturers? Okay, so this is the question I answered.
Yes, Rahul, Scott is raising up his hand again, so I'll just give the mic.
Yeah.
Scott, all yours. Okay. Scott is not there.
Scott, you have any more question?
I think, okay, so NK Chaitanya.
Okay, no questions. Yeah, Chaitanya is trying to say something. So he says he has seen and read some articles in Black Hat Asia conference. A few hackers designed CHT tool. Yeah, that is the problem. See, the rate of that hacking tool is hardly $100 to $150. Okay, so that is the cause of the worry, that everybody is trying to put their innovative mind, and they are able to create innovative hacking techniques, right? So that is the problem. But see, we cannot stop selling the technologies, right? Like some of the technologies are helpful to us. Now, imagine the case of 30 years back, you were not able to withdraw your money sitting at home, say with the help of the ATMs, right? And you were not able to transfer money from one account to other account. But now if you see, this technology is very helpful. It is able to help you in exigencies, in urgencies. You are able to borrow money, transfer money. You are able to apply for the loans within fraction of seconds. Obviously, whenever there is a technology, there will be definitely such kind of challenges. and we have to overcome the challenges because technologies can be used as a boon and as well as a bane, right? So definitely we cannot stop innovating and we cannot stop inventing new technologies, just that we have to address the challenges whenever we have the misuse of the technology.
Rahul, I have an interesting question. Maybe we should stick to using classic cars with no computers. That would never be possible because we want everything
Yeah, see, once
fast.
we are into advanced field, we cannot go back into the past, right? We cannot use the old systems.
Exactly.
So, and I would say even walking would be much better. Again, there is a danger that you would be run down with some car. So definitely that is not practical. Yeah.
And uh, and also Chaitanya was asking about, can government will be successful in stop selling IoT devices? I'm pretty sure they wouldn't do that because the hacking techniques emerge every day.
Okay.
They are way ahead on what a security guy would think. So it's striking a balance between offensive and defensive,
Exactly. Correct.
and we could really expect more innovation on this topic. And I was
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
attending a security conferences who is one of the head of Nissan. He was talking
Mhm.
about how their cars uh, were doing a lot of test runs on the security, especially how the hackers were able to gain the processors and take the whole control of the car.
Correct. Correct. Yeah, in fact, we have practically shown how the hacking is possible, and at the same time, it is something which every manufacturer has to take it seriously. Because see, if you gain entry into even a small car without having any kind of a computer systems, still the kind of damage you can do is very large, right? A mass destruction, or I would say mass killings, is very easily possible. Now imagine the case with a computerized system. That will increase the danger multifold. So yeah, there is one more question. So is there any additional measures we can take to protect our cars right now? So right now the additional measure is GPS can help you to a certain extent, and immobilizer can help you currently, and at the same time dashboard cams and monitoring the cams with your mobile app can be an additional secure safety measure right now.
I'm Rahul. Like what really happens in the near future is everything would be as a service, car as a
Correct.
service, application as a service within that car, and the app level security would also play a key role in this automotive security.
Yeah, in
Uh,
fact, you raised a very good point, Nishant. Right now, I have already. I mean, I cannot disclose the company name, but already there is a plan to integrate the SOC SIM, what we generally use for IT incidents, for the driverless car monitoring. Okay, so that any kind of car when in motion, any incident, any kind of accident which is happening, that is tracked with a IoT solution, and that IoT solution will report this incident to the cloud, and from the cloud that is integrated with Azure and as well as AWS solution, where the Amazon Guard Duty from AWS, and in the Azure also we have Qualys tool, where these are integrated, and any such incident will be immediately highlighted in the form of a hot incident, so that instantly the person who is monitoring the SOC, he can immediately catch that alert and start the response and remediation action.
yes,
So
Rahul,
we are there. Yeah.
and that would overall change the security landscape related to automotives and the
Exactly.
connected devices.
Exactly. So there was a question like what kind of opportunities. So opportunities in cyber security are endless. So definitely, irrespective of what you are dealing with. In fact, I can also talk about one more booming field where this OT or the industrial systems security is picking up to a great extent nowadays. And with the advent of 5G, we have a very large landscape for cyber security, even in the industrial security landscape. Again, I would refer back to the sci-fi movies where they would have shown how the plant can be disabled, how the entire power of the manufacturing plant can be shut down. All these are really happening today. And because of the old legacy systems in the manufacturing plants, maybe they would be using the old Windows XP operating system, and they are using age old firewalls and routers for connectivity which are not patched, where the operating systems are not upgraded. There is a lot of opportunity for such kind of plants to be brought down by misusing the vulnerabilities what are currently existing.
Exactly,
So
Rahul.
yeah, yeah,
So
Nishant. Go ahead.
these cars would be like integrated devices, like just as how you see a endpoint device. So the same
Correct.
mechanisms would be applicable, and I believe authentication would be a key for securing these cars as a first line of defense. So
Exactly,
that
exactly.
would play a key role. So thanks much, Rahul, and thanks everyone for those. Wonderful questions. Chaitanya, we wish we could answer that question.
Uh, Yeah, Chaitanya, you can drop your email or you can write to us on info@csnp.org. We would definitely answer to your question. So,
Exactly.
guys, as you all know, the time is limit. Whenever we talk at length about these technological advancements, so please feel free to write your questions to our email. So info@csnp.org, and we will definitely try to address any questions that you may have going forward.
And we also have some volunteer opportunities if you want to contribute or if you want to take any session or if you want some guidance in cybersecurity, feel free to connect with us. I'm posting our meetup group in the chat in the chat box. Please go ahead and sign up, as well as I'm also posting my LinkedIn page. You can connect. Rahul, can you also post your LinkedIn page?
Yeah, sure.
We also had some YouTube videos which are very old, but it would still resonate the importance of automotive security even now as well. So when you have some time, please go ahead and uh, view those videos that we have kept for you.
Yeah, I think you can play that now, or
We are almost done out of time.
okay, fine, fine. All right, Nishant. Actually, in this particular system, I'm not able to log in LinkedIn. Can you just copy that link and paste it?
Yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah, please. Thank you. Yeah, so the video links have been posted in the chat window and also my LinkedIn link. So please feel free to connect with us, and you can copy these YouTube links, and you can play it at your time. Okay. Thanks, each one of you. Thanks for attending this session. And it was really a great interaction, a pleasure talking to all of you and trying to share views along with you. So let's try to make this world a better place to live, and let's try to keep the hackers away.
Thank you, Rahul. Thank you, everyone. It's great to meet
Thanks,
you
Thanks
all.
everyone
everyone.
for joining.
Thanks a lot,
Okay.
Nishant. Thanks, Ilim.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
Jeff, if you can, I have a question to address.
So I see a question from Jeffrey. We definitely distribute CPE credits after this. So if you're interested, you can definitely email us at info@csmp.org or yes, thank you, Nish. So reach out to us that way and we can distribute one to you. And it'll be in the form of a certificate.
Thanks, Tony. Thanks, everyone.
Yeah. Bye. Enjoy your evening.